Okay, warm up one, we got, number one, we got 4. So what did you do to get the constant proportionality? Good. Just what I wanted you to hear. That should be written on your paper. So what did you divide? Well, no, you didn't divide 4 over 1. 20 divided by 5, and you got 4. And you could have divided any of them, okay? Now, I showed work for 1, but you know what in my head I did? I went and divided them all to make sure I got 4. I hope you did that too. Thank you, Miss Kemp. Okay, number 2. What's your answer? Because if it's proportional, it's going to be in this format. Number 3. What'd you get? Same thing. If I divide 8 by 3, that's got to give me the same as 14 divided by 5. Are those equal? You tested it?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Put that in warm-ups. Guys. Okay. Look up here. What's this? Oh, I've got it. Come over here. This is a cylinder. How do you get volume of a cylinder?
Area equal,
Thank you. Who said that? Thank you, Jake. Area of the base times the height. Area of the base times the height. That's how you get volume of a cylinder. Look at this cone. It has the same size base and the same height as the cylinder. Okay? Now, if you learned this last year or remember it from Miss Albania's class, please don't say anything, okay? I'm trying to find out how many of these cones full of water it's going to take to fill up that cylinder. So if you remember from last year, don't say anything. Okay, I need some guesses. Trent. 2. 1.5. Well, 2. 3 1/3. 3 1/2. 2. Anybody else have a guess? Who is Miss Albania, Trent? And you remember it. You remember what it is exactly. Okay. All right. So here we go. And guys, this is just water. Yes. It's not hard. No, I got that one. Okay. That's 1. And I'm filling it up toward the lid. There's 2. Change your answers. The thing is, it's going to be 3 exactly. Okay. So what your brain was doing was trying to make 3 of these fit in here. That's not what you're doing because you'd have to cut it all up. So it takes 3 of these to fill up the cylinder. So what do you think the formula would be to get volume of a cone? Now look up here. What do you think it would be to get volume of a cone in relation to volume of a cylinder?
1/3 each.
1/3. area of the base times the height. So you would pretend like you're doing volume of a cylinder that have the same base and height. But then you take a third of it. And we all know how to get a third of a number because we worked on that in the first week of school. You will find today that you're going to use 5 or 6 skills that you should have already learned to do this. What we're doing. 5 or 6 skills that we've learned all year. The thing is, some of us didn't learn what we needed to first 6 weeks. Then it snowballed and you were trying to learn that plus second 6 weeks and then that didn't happen. So then third, it just keeps snowballing, just like our bulletin board out in the hall. It just keeps snowballing on here. Right? You'll see that there's in one problem we're going to do today, there's like 5 or 6 skills that I can count that you should have already learned that's going to help you do the problem. Okay? So on page 252, okay, okay, you have a reference chart, right? With the formulas on it. So, really, the only thing you need to do is know what the picture is and know what you're finding. Are you finding volume or surface area? So you have to think, make a decision. Am I doing am I filling it up? Am I finding what it'll hold? That's volume. Okay? So on here's a cone right here. Volume of a cone. What we're doing, that's the formula that you'll see on your formula chart, 1/3 area of the base times the height. So right down here, above this is the formula you're going to see on your formula chart. So really the only thing you have to think, because you all know that's a cone, and it tells you to get the volume, the only thing you have to think is, what's the base? Oh, the base is a circle. So to get the B, to get the capital B, let's write this in. You're getting the area of the base. And on a 3D object, it's either going to be a circle, a square, a rectangle, a triangle with what we're doing. I mean, it could be trapezoid and there's hexagon, there's all kinds of different things it could be, but we're going to be worried about those 4 things. It's a circle. So then I'll look and find area of a circle on my reference chart and write that underneath that. That's all you're doing. That's all you have to do. Okay? Now, 8th graders, they might not say volume. They might say, how much will the figure hold? Write that over there. Hold. If it's talking about how much it'll hold, then it's volume. If it says how many cubic inches will fit in there, it's talking about volume. You cannot fill this room with squares or inches or feet or miles. You got to fill it with cubes. Okay? Now, let's look. I want to do something real quick. Guys, do you see what they did? 1/3 times 3.14 times 2 squared. Because the radius was 2, the height was 8, right? So you can do 2 things. You can type in 1/3 times that times, surely we all know 2 squared is 4, okay, times 8. Or you can go ahead and multiply all of it and then divide it by 3. Just don't forget to divide by 3. Be careful. Okay? But look at B. Come right in this. 1/3 area of the base times the height. And the circle is the circle, okay? Look at this right here. We're going to skip that step. We're not going to do that step. But look right here. Who knows what 1/3 of 9 is? 3. So really, 1/3 of 9 is 3. So just go 3 times 3.14 times 16. And then Miss Kent said she found people yesterday that do not know or forgot because you knew how to square a number. Guys, to square a number, remember all you got to do is hit the X squared button. You don't have to go arrow up too. Just hit that. If I want to do 7 squared, I just hit 7 squared. Enter. 49. It's not showing up, but okay. All right, let's do one. 253 on page 2. Page 253. Look at number 4. Volume of the cone. Boy, they were nice to us, and they told us exactly what we're getting and what the figure is. So the base is a circle, so I'm going to go pi times radius squared times the height. That gives me the area of the circle. Do we need to write all that down? Do I want you to write all that down? Yeah, if I didn't want you to, I wouldn't be writing it. Okay, let's go label. What's 15? Huh?
That's the diameter.
The diameter, baby. It can't be, the base is a circle. But on a 3D object, when I say what's the base, I'm saying circle, square, rectangle, triangle. So when I say what's the base, it's a circle. I mean, 15 is not the base. 15 is the diameter of the base. So that's the diameter. Oh, I need the radius. So the radius is what? I mean, 16 is half. I'm telling you guys, I have found if you go ahead and label everything over there, you're not going to miss it. That's a good way to get it right. So we're going to go 1/3 times 3.14. And why do I use parentheses? Because it's a decimal. There's a decimal there. And sometimes y'all use dots, multiplication dot, and decimal, y'all get confused. Radius is 7.5 squared, and the height is 16. Now, go see what you got. Go get your answer.
Number 42. Centimeters.
No. Cubed. Cubed. Okay, number 5. 3 is what? Plus 2. Good. Okay? Once you get all that written down, I'll talk to you about it before you start doing the math. Guys, y'all should be able to follow the formula without looking up here. You should be able to do it on your own. You shouldn't be looking up and down doing mine. Come on. Hey, guys, what's a third of 3?
1.
Isn't it 1?
Yes, ma'am.
So really, there's no reason to even do that because 1 times anything is the other number. Okay? So all you have to do is 3.14 times 4. Good. So it'll be 12.6.
Centimeters cubed.
No,
No, feet cubed.
feet cubed. There you go. Okay? Does everybody see what we're doing? What is my goal in here?
To teach you.
I know, to teach you and
Ready for life.
to make it easier for you. I'm trying to get you to look for shortcuts on things and have some math sense about you. Okay? All right, look on 254. Okay, number 1, the area of the base of a cylinder. I like pictures. So the area of the base is 45, the height is 10 of a cylinder. A cone has the same area of the base, and the height is 10. Same height, same base, area of the base. What is the volume of the cone? Well, how do I get volume of the cylinder? I know. What is it? No, what is it? No. 45. Guys, he already gave us the area of the base. Look. The area of the base is 45. What's the height? 10. So what is it? Surely nobody's having to do that on the calculator. I heard clickety-clack. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, I shouldn't have heard clickety-clack on 45 times 10. So now to get the volume of the cone, I take a third of that volume. Don't I? Because they're the same. Good. Number 2. Thank you for asking. A cone and a cylinder have congruent height and bases. The volume of the cone is 18 cubic meters. What is the volume of the cylinder? So if I know the volume of the cone is 18, Logan says to multiply it by 3 to get the volume of the cylinder. That is the same. Yeah. Good. So the volume of the cylinder is going to be 54. Okay. Are there any questions on how to get volume of the cone? Not much harder, is it? Okay. At the very bottom of the page, right in this area, I want you to write this formula. And then right beside it, write this information. Okay.
That's the first.
Yeah, no. How are we going to find the radius? I can't do any math yet. What's that say? Follow the formula. I got to follow the formula somehow. I got a formula. I got to follow it. Tell me what to write. No, not yet. Pi r squared times the height. And now we need to follow it. To see how to get r over there. Tell me what to write. I shouldn't hear any clickety-clap. There should be no clickety-clap. Because you don't know what to do yet. That's what hurts you guys. You try to go ahead of the problem and just do what you think. When you got a formula, you don't have to think. It's thinking for you right here. So what do I write under V? No, what do I write under V?
508 times 68.
Okay, here's the first. Well, following the formula is the main skill that I've tried to teach you all year. All year, how to follow a formula. Now, doing substitution. That's another skill I worked on. So now we're substituting. So that's the second skill. Do I know the radius? No. Do I know the height? Yep. 6. Okay, that's the second skill. Now, solving an equation. And using the calculator correctly. That's another skill. So, we're not even to the answer. We're following the formula. We're not even near the formula. I mean the answer. So now what do I write? 0.68 equals. Okay, now let's look at this a minute. My goal is to get what? What's my goal? To get the radius. So I've got to get r by itself. I get all this numbers away from r. There's a bunch of numbers over there. What do you see first? That's another skill I've been trying to get you to work on. Shortcuts. What do you see first that we could do? A third of, no, we're not subtracting anything. There's nothing. Stop. When you're solving an equation, you do the opposite of what you see. There's no adding. There's no plus sign. So I'm not going to be subtracting anything. There's no subtracting anything because I don't see a plus sign. When you're solving equations, you do the opposite operation. There's no plus sign. So no subtracting. It's going to happen. Every class has said subtract. What are you going to subtract? You only subtract something that's added. So we can't subtract. I only see multiplication. Is that all you see? Multiplication? Multiplication. So I'm not going to be doing any subtracting or adding. But I know that a third of 6 is what? 2. Oh, that's the first thing that I saw. I went, oh, a third of 6 is 2. So I marked that out and put 2 in my brain. So I'm going to multiply what?
3.14
Times 2. And what did you get? Radius squared. I ain't gotten rid of my radius squared. I don't want to get rid of radius squared. I want my r down there by itself. I'm trying to get rid of everything besides r. So I've got to multiply what I can. So I just multiplied what I could. And if you didn't understand what I just did, then you would have to go 3.14 times 6 divided by 3. And you get the same thing I got. Now what do I do to get rid of the 6.28? Why divide it? It's multiplied. So if it's multiplied, then we've got to divide. Okay, what did everybody get? 81. Now, here's the next skill. See what I'm talking about? Well, we up to 6. We're up to 6 skills for this one problem. I don't want R squared. What do I want? This should look very, 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 very familiar. How do I get R? Square root it. We just learned this with Pythagorean theorem. It's 9. So it's 9 what? No. No. Just 9 inches, good boy. Just 9 inches, guys. The volume is in cubic inches. The radius, I'm trying to get the radius of the circle. It's 9 inches. That's all it is. So do you see all the skills that we've learned through the year that's helping us with this? See, I knew where we were going to this. That's why we get frustrated with you guys that couldn't learn how to solve equations. You do the opposite operation. Okay? We good on that? Think we know what we're doing? Okay. Alrighty. On 255, circle these problems unless you want to do them all. 8, 10, 12, 16, 17, 18. 8, 10, 12, 16, 17, 18. You're going to work it on the sheet of paper I told you to. Do not tear this out. Do not tear it out. If I want you to tear it out, what do I always put? Tear it out. I do not want it torn out. You've got plenty of room on this piece of paper to work these problems. Don't scrunch it up in one little space. You're going to write your formula. Everybody freeze. Stop. You weren't ready for class. Piece of paper. Now, you're going to work all these problems on that sheet of paper. We're not turning it in. We're not turning it in. We're going to check them. We'll probably have to check them tomorrow. Okay? Because I want everybody to have a chance to do them. And then we may have some time in the, I'll give you some time when class starts tomorrow to finish before we check it. Okay? Are there any questions about how to get volume of a cone? We all got it. Good deal. Okay, get started. If you need help, please raise your hand.